everyone, it's Red and I'm back with another Gems of War video, and today we're in the world event, the Ancestral Revenge, and I'm going to show off my team. I have to admit this week was maybe the first time since world event came out that I actually struggled a little bit to build a team that I enjoyed using. The troops that we have available to us, quite frankly, none of them really do their job that well. There's not really too many standouts. There's the mana generators aren't quite as good as they usually are. There's not as many premium damage dealers as there usually is. So it took me a little while to develop this team. I did a lot of chopping and changing, but I do finally have something I quite enjoy using, and it works really well at these higher levels too. So let's get into it and I'll show you the team. So we have Kerberos, Doomed Glaive and Forest Guardian, and we're using Plague Lord. Cerberus, I'm not really sure whether to call it Cerberus or Kerberos. Anyway, he deals damage and he has a 40% chance to devour. As well as that, what makes it even better is he has a 50% chance to summon a warg when an enemy dies. Now, of course, the damage is quite nice. It's really not that bad of a damage dealer, but the thing that we are really interested in here is the 40% chance to devour. Obviously, apart from the fact that it takes one of the enemies off the board, as soon as you get a devour, your Kerberos turns into an almighty tank. And obviously, if we do fail and we lose one of our Kerberoses, the other Kerberos will almost always summon a warg, and that will help shield us. Now, our Doomed Glaive, this is, I would say, the MVP of this team. This is, I think, by far the best damage dealer this week. As you can see, it has some of the best Doomed upgrades available. I'll just go through some of them that are relevant here. The Entangle the first enemy. There are some battles that this won't come into effect because there are a lot of immune creatures, but also there are a lot of battles where this does work, and it can come in really handy. Deal damage to the second enemy can be quite useful with their shields. Creating a leaf storm, again, very handy because we're using it because it feeds the Doomed Glaive itself. And draining 2 mana from green enemies, that's not overly useful, but these things, they add up, don't they? And then finally, we're using the Forest Guardian. Now, the main reason we are using the Forest Guardian is for the 50% start on our Cerberoses and the Forest Guardian itself. What it does is it transforms purple gems to skulls and transforms brown gems to green, and it gives allied beasts barrier, which also helps us shield and tank for our Doomed Glaive. Now let's get, I should also mention the class. We're using Plague Lord and we are using Impact, Mage Lord, because we are in last position. Oh no, actually I don't think we are in last position. I think I switched it. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. Anti-magic sphere to reduce damage by 20%. We're using mana source, so this basically makes it so our entire team has a 50% mana star, which is very helpful because we aren't really using a mana generator. We're relying on our potions and we're relying on our 50% star. We're using game barrier when matching brown gems just for a little bit of a reassurance, just in case something happens and we do lose those first two creatures. And lastly, we're using gain bonus purple mana from purple gems. Now, I've gone with this because it's important that we get our Kerberos up, and we are going down the purple route rather than the brown route. Now, what I would actually suggest, if you're not leveling a class, I would actually suggest using Titan, because a brown storm is perfect in this team. Continually splashing the field with brown works not only for your Kerberoses but also for your Doom Glaive, which transforms brown into skulls. So if you haven't got Titan to rank 100, I would suggest going that way. So let's get into the game and I'll show you how it works. Now, I like to try to get both of my Kerberoses up first before I use the first one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our Kerberoses. We tend to, if we can, what you want to do is avoid the creatures that are immune to Devour. And I tend to just use it on the creature that I think is the most dangerous. Now, as you can see, we didn't actually get a Devour, but the double Kerberos actually allowed us to kill one of the minions. The damage is with the tokens and the badges. The damage is enough that you can easily remove one of the troops just with your first two spells. Now, because we've got plenty of shielding and our Doom Glaive only needs to go off twice, even at these high levels, to remove the other opposition troops, we can blow off our Doom Glaive without an extra turn guaranteed. Something I do tend to do though is I will look for the brown and green matches just to see if we can grab an extra turn. I know that it tends to remove the brown so you don't get the skull matches, but whilst the skull matches are helpful, they're not completely necessary. And as long as we're not leaving a bunch of extra turns for the opposition, we can afford to take one or two skull hits, especially because using this team in this class, we're going to have barrier on almost all of our minions a lot of the time. So we're going to use our Doom Glaive, and as you see, we got a nice entangle on the top troop, so we really don't need to worry about skulls. Now, we've got a skull match with our Forest Guardian, so we'll take that. And we'll take this extra turn, and we'll take the skulls. Now, I'm just going to use Doom Glaive again, because that should finish us off. And it's as easy as that. We'll do a couple more, just to show the team off. Now, this is a level 394 battle, so you'll be able to see the team against the really high level teams. Now on this one, you have to be aware that Barbarous here, he is immune to Devour, so you don't want to use your Devours on him. Obviously, if there's a Valraven like this, you want to be using your devours there at first. You can see our Doomglaive is up, so we're going to look for that first. We don't have an extra turn. And in the last battle I said that it's okay to use the Doomglaive if you don't have an extra turn and you're not leaving too much. But I would always prefer to use my Cerberuses first, just so we can hopefully get a Devourer off just before we use the Doomglaive. However, if I had an extra turn I would use the Doomglaive first. As we see, we've got a Devour there on the Varu, which is perfect. It's 40%, which obviously is, not far off of 50% of the time. So you will get the Devourer a lot of the time. Like I say, like there we got the double Devourer from both of them. It will surprise you how often you get the double Devourer. Now, again, we'll look for our extra turns. We'll look for brown into green, and we'll look for extra turns with purple. We don't have it, so we'll take the brown, and again we don't have it, so we'll take the brown. If there was purple available, we would have taken the purple instead. So how is everybody else's world event going? What teams is everyone else using? I'm especially interested to see this week because, as I said, there's just not that many interesting choices, should I say. Usually I quite like the challenge, but this week there's really not that many interesting choices. One thing I would note is it's important to take the skull matches after you've got the Devourer with your Cerberus, because you are dealing so much damage that it's really worth it. I'm actually going to use this because we've got a skull match to kill that out and we're not worried about the damage incoming. We use a Cerberus and we're done. And we'll do one more. So, again, we'll look to get our Cerberus up, both of them. We'll go for a Devour. And we'll go for a Devour. We got that one up. It feels extra good just to get when you lose the first one, or when you don't get the first Devourer and you get the second one, because you know that you're safe even if you lose the first. And we'll look for brown to green, which we have. We'll take. In that situation, you actually want to look for brown to skulls first, because you obviously want to use your Doomglaive over your Forest Guardian. We'll take the green and we'll fire off our Doomglaive. Take the skull, just because that would have been painful in that time. English is deserting me. We'll use our Forest Guardian, and we'll see here, if we do use our Doomglaive, if we didn't have this extra time and we used our Doomglaive in this situation, we would be leaving an extra turn. In this situation it wouldn't be that harmful to us because our second Cerberus is so beefy, but in general you want to, that's the only time I would avoid using my Doomglaive. We use our Doomglaive, so we did 276 damage there. We'll kill this one off, and in this situation here I'm either looking for skulls or I'm going to look for green, because that's the quickest way to finish this out. No green, no purple. We have an extra tile, which I nearly missed. We have we have enough brown to green, I think, and I'm not worried about them getting an extra turn at this point. And there we go. So yeah, that's how the team works. I hope that everybody is having a cozy day, and if not, I hope it's feeling much more cozy now. I will put the team code on the screen right now, and I will share it in the comments, and I'll see you next time.